Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome back to the Animous, and today we're going to be reviewing one of the newest third-party kits from SNAA, the God's Guardian Gawain. So first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to Gundam Central. That's where I acquired this kit from. If you guys want to check them out, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the bottom. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the review. So SNAA has been coming out with all these kits that are third party, which are the round table knights. And let me tell you, they do not disappoint. And they did it again when they released this kit. Now, one thing I did want to mention as well is that this kit also brings water slide decals. And I have them right here, and I just want to get them out of the way because I haven't put them on the kit yet. Because my plan for this model kit is going to be that I am going to panel line it, I am going to top coat it, apply the water slide decals, and then finish it with a final coat. I just didn't want to do that without taking apart some of the areas because of the clear parts. I definitely don't want to top coat those. And you can definitely see the quality on these water slide decals. As you can see, they do have like a matte finish, which is actually really great when it comes to this kit. Now, as for the guide itself, even though it does walk you through all the steps, it also gives you placement of each of the water slide decals. And I can definitely appreciate the fact that it's in color. So this kit right now, it has 13 runners and the water slide decals, and obviously that's counting the effect parts. And I gotta say, like I mentioned before while I was doing the unboxing, this model kit and these effect parts just look crazy, and they're also UV reactive. So that's something to look forward to when you actually get this kit. So additional parts that come with this kit, you do have two sets of options for the eyes. You do have the yellow option, which is this one that I have right here, and you have a clear part. I'm a sucker for clear parts, so I went ahead and did that. I used the clear parts instead, but I want to let you guys know that you do have an extra eye set. And the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be a bunch of hands. So it does bring a bunch of hands as options. You get a set of peace sign hands, which are pretty detailed, if I may say so myself. Then you got a set of open palms, right? Then you get a set of closed fists, and then you also get the set of holding weapons, which is the ones that I have currently on. The next thing we're going to talk about actually has the fist attached to it, which is going to be the shield. Now, the mechanisms for this shield are definitely insane, and I want you to take a look at the actual shield itself. Those are not stickers. Each color that you see in this kit, it is completely color separated. This is all moldings inside the parts, like cutouts and the actual parts, and then the gray parts just seep through and you can see that color separation. I love the fact that they added more details on this side as well as you can actually animate and change the shield into like an action battle mode. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be the Buster Sword, rifle, etc., whatever you want to call it. This thing is insane. One thing that I can say is that they really did go above and beyond when it came to detailing these parts. These clear parts just look really good, as do most of third-party kits. So you do have a single blade here function, and then you do have the actual blade function here once you put it together. However, you can also change it into a different mode, and it's if you take off these clear parts, then it turns into a rifle. You can also set it up to where it's attached like so. So whenever you're not using the rifle and you're using it in sword mode, then you can either use it as a normal sword. I actually like this setup a little bit better. But then you can use it into like the long Buster Sword. So you have color separation here. You have clear parts everywhere. Definitely like that. Definitely like the gimmicks with this blade as well. And like I mentioned before, you know, the kit has no issues holding this up whatsoever. One thing that I did not like about the kit itself is that the actual grasping hand for the sword does not really hold the sword. It doesn't really clip into anything. It's just put there. So just keep that in mind whenever you do buy this kit. Posing it might raise a challenge because of the fact that it doesn't just hold it still. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the wings. Now, when I was unboxing this, I was very looking forward to the effect parts, because even though I do not like beam effects, I do like effects when it comes to like wings or wings of light or whatever you want to call them. And this did not disappoint at all. The quality is great. They are super sturdy. The cuts, the way the light hits it, and it just changes color. It just looks great. And another thing too, it is UV reactive. So for all of those UV buffs out there, it is definitely a UV reactive part. Now for the main event, which is the Gawain itself. Now, one thing that I do have to point out whenever you get this kit is that some of these parts for this kit are a little tight. And that's not a negative thing. It's usually it would be, but not for this kit. This kit does have tight parts, but that just adds to how sturdy it is. Unlike some other kits, whenever you build them and they're too sturdy, and then all of a sudden you got stress marks on your plastic or they crack or whatever. That did not happen with this kit at all. The actual kit itself will stand on its own two legs even when you're not trying to pose it, which is actually very, very helpful compared to others. So straight into aesthetics itself, the kit when you build it, it just looks great. It has extreme amount of detail. It does have a lot of panel lining for those of you that love your panel lines on your model kits. It has additional details, color separation. All the parts on this kit are color separated. There are no stickers. There are no layered over parts that kind of like melt together with the rest of the armor. Everything is color separated. And it is surprising considering that this kit does not have that many runners. So keep that in mind whenever you are getting this kit, that you are getting a nice kit. I know that there was some controversy with the other Knight that came out not too long ago, but as far as that, I feel like SNA is heading in the right direction, correcting all the issues that they had. Now, we're gonna go straight into flexibility for this. For the head, you can move it back and forth. You can move it side to side. It does twist side to side a little bit, and if you want to twist it like diagonally, you can as well. So you don't have to worry about having a stiff neck or whatever. You can still do that. For the shoulders you have complete mobility. For your shoulder itself, you can actually move it to give it that extra gimmick, or you can just set it back, which is actually great. You can turn your arm all the way around, and we will talk about that. That just happened. Now, for the arm itself, it seems that the plastic that these are made in, you might want to touch this up with a little bit of CA glue. Mine's keep falling from both sides, and I'm not sure if it was a defect in my kit or it just happens. So you do have the shoulder that you can lift up and down. That is how much flexibility you got. You don't have much more. For the elbow, you do have your double jointed elbow, which you can move. It does not have a joint wrist. It's because it's just a peg, so you could just move it back and forth and then side to side. For the actual waist itself, the waist has full mobility, so you can get a nice good crunch there. You can go ahead and move it all to the back like so as well, so it bends back. And it's very rare for kits like these because it's been a while since I've gotten one like that. And then you can also do like a gimmick where you're just bringing it up to try to sit it down. That looks really good. You also have your side to side, which is very good considering you can go ahead and move it. It has full circular flexibility when it comes to the waist. I really do enjoy that. For the actual waistline itself, so these flaps on the skirt, they are separated, so you don't have to worry about this, kneeling down and then have both the skirts coming up. The back one is all together, so you would have to, move it or whatever you want to do. Flexibility for the legs, you can make a full split with this kit as well, and you can also move the joint. It does have that joint to move the legs up and down or forward and so to make it tighter. It does have this effect part right here where it just moves with the body as a side skirt, and I think that's really nice. For the actual knee itself, you do have a full double jointed knee there, which can move side to side with the thigh. And I'm telling you, this frame is super solid. Super solid. I haven't had any issues, and I did put it through the test while I was posing it, and it did not give me any issues at all. Now, the one thing that I do want to mention is that the actual ankle itself, it's not that great. It is a peg, and then you can move these, you can move the toe, and then you can move the rear, the heel for the kit, but you can't move, you don't have a lot of mobility when it comes to this. All right, you can bend your toe down, bend it a little bit upward, but you can't bend the ankle. So that's something that, you know, it's a little weird, because when you try to posing, it looks a little weird when you can't move the ankle. But you know, I digress. So for the actual backpack itself, this backpack is crazy, and I know that this looks very familiar because this looks exactly like the backpack from the Freedom Gundam, which is actually really nice. I love the wings, how they did the like a fairy style wings here, and the effect parts that are here are actually the effect parts insert that hold this together. So what you want to do is that you're going to go ahead and slide it on, and just like that, and it stays completely on. One thing that I do want to mention is that the joint itself for that, it becomes a little bit loose because of the weight. So just keep that in mind when you're posing, so that way, you know, you can pose it in a way that it doesn't just slide back and forth, or, you know, if it falls and breaks or whatever. I don't wish that on anyone, but just keep that in mind. You know, you do have to be very careful when placing those so you don't have any issues. One thing that I do want to mention about this kit is that it is supposed to be like a Beyond Exquisite, which is like a real grade type. To me, it did not feel like a real grade. It felt more like a downsized master grade. And I'm talking about new age master grades from Bandai, where you have full inner frames and then layer out the armors on the kits. I just feel that, you know, real grades have come a long way from what they used to be, but there's still a lot of stuff that's wrong with them. And I don't see anything wrong with this kit whatsoever. Another thing that I want to mention is that this kit did not bring a base. So if you're going to buy this kit and you're trying to pose it with an aerial pose or something like that, please make sure you get a proper base for it, as this one does not bring it. Overall, I am in love with this kit, and I'm not usually a 1/44 scale person. I just believe that this was very well made, and it's definitely one of my favorite kits so far when it comes to this Knights of the Round Table line. And that is it for today's video. If you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I know that we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the time of release of this video, we've already hit 1,000 subscribers, and I do have something very special planned for that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.